Folks, it's with great pleasure I welcome Grid Alternatives to the radio. We have Utuma Belfry, the Outreach Coordinator for Grid Alternatives here. Welcome.
Thank you.
You may remember the BC3 comments that we had from Laura and Joyce. Well, this is a further extension of it. But Utuma, tell me, what is Grid Alternatives? How did it get started?
Grid Alternatives is a nonprofit organization, and we install solar panels for low-income homeowners. It was started by two engineers who, right now solar is like the in thing, the sexy thing for people to do right now. You know, everyone is going green. Well, these two engineers basically thought that by producing electricity with the sun, that they can bring that benefit to low-income people who can use the savings the most.
If you think about it, your utility bill is pretty much fixed. You got to pay it. You need lights, gas, what have you. But if your income isn't rising as fast as the rates are, there you have a bit of a problem. So that's what the group does. And where exactly are these solar panels installed? I mean, is it all over Northern California? Are you national?
Well, right now we're working to be all throughout California. We have some dealings with Southern California as well. But right now we're doing basically San Mateo County, Pleasanton, Richmond, Concord, San Francisco, certain zip codes.
Yeah, well, certainly I can see how your electrical background led you to be part of this, but why specifically Grid Alternatives? Why the green movement?
Well, after I finished the apprenticeship, I was interested in the solar panel installation, and I wanted the hands-on experience, which I didn't actually get doing all facets of construction. So I wanted to send myself back to school as well, and the opportunity to work for Grid Alternatives presented itself to me, and it was exactly what I wanted. So.
Well, that's good. Now, what are the benefits to those listeners who might not know the benefits of solar panels? What is the benefit to our listeners in terms of their bottom line? What's the benefit to the environment?
Well, not only do can our listeners save money, but to the environment, it cuts back on the CO2 emissions, greenhouse gas emissions, basically.
So literally, does the meter really run backwards?
Yes, it does, until PG&E comes and puts in their digital meter, but as long as you have the standard meter, the meter actually runs backwards.
Oh, shucks. I always wanted to see one of those meters because I've always seen it running the other way, and it's a frightening sight.
You can see it initially upon the installation. You can see your meter run backwards, but once PG&E comes out, they change out the meters.
To the digital. Now, I can see the benefit to the low-income people. How much is the cost, though, for the installation? Is it discounted? Is it free?
Well, through our organization, since we're a nonprofit, depending on where our listeners are located, in San Francisco, 94124, 94107 zip codes, they are getting their panels installed for free.
Okay.
Everywhere else in the Bay Area, since San Francisco is like the most progressive city right now in the Bay Area.
God bless them.
But right now we're doing our installations for free no matter where we are. But the homeowners in the other locations have to pay the cost of the panels themselves.
What sort of cost are we talking about here?
In general, we do about 12 panels on a roof, depending on the square footage and the availability of roof space, shading and things like that. So you're speaking about 12 panels at 1.7 kilowatts. That's what they produce.
Okay.
And
how much does a panel cost?
They range based on the suppliers,
okay.
But they're generally running between $6,000 and $7,000 for 12 panels.
Oh, okay. So $6,000 to $7,000 for 12 panels, and that pretty well that's all she wrote. I mean, then my bill is minimal, and perhaps even I'm not getting a bill.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
Depending on your consumption.
True. Now, I noticed you had mentioned on the website for Grid Alternatives, which again, listeners, that's gridalternatives.org. Check them out. The sweat equity component, I wasn't really clear on that. Are you asking the homeowners to participate? Are you requiring them? What are you? I don't know one end of a screwdriver from the other. I don't think you want me out there, do you?
We think it's a really fun project. We try to make it as fun as possible, and so that the homeowners actually get a feel of what's going on. We're just not trying to be the construction crew that comes in, gets the work done, and the homeowner doesn't know. So yes, we do ask that our homeowners participate in the installation. We had an 80-year-old woman climb up on her roof during her installation, and she helped, so.
What can the people do, though? I mean,
There's a lot of things on the roof that they can do. There's a lot of things on the ground that they can do. They work with the construction managers. They go through a 4-hour training, and they're kind of assigned to different tasks. Simple enough.
So how many hours are we talking? I mean, it's 12 panels to really from A to Z. How many hours are we talking?
In general, the basic training is about a 4-hour class, and then each installation takes about 2 days, 2 8-hour work days at most, sometimes less. So we ask our volunteers to come out for 2 days on a weekend, and it's over.
Well, speaking of the volunteers, I noticed you have volunteer opportunities on the website. What exactly are those?
Is
it the training?
Yes, it's the training.
Okay.
Because we are a licensed C10 contractor, just as any other electrical contractor you would hire, we have the bonding and the insurance requirements. So for insurance purposes, we have to give a safety training and, a basic training to all of our volunteers, because some of our volunteers are professionals and some volunteers don't know a screwdriver from a fork. No,
that's me. You hit it one. I really don't. I mean,
so it ranges, and we just give an overview, and they come out.
So your volunteers help on the project. So it's literally, if I understand it, it's the construction management, you, the professionals, a construction manager who's involved in that, the homeowner, and some volunteers. Basically 2 days, $7,000 cost to the homeowner.
And usually the loans are, for seniors and disabled, the loans are deferred. We usually partner with the city and county loan organizations, which offer a simple interest loan, and over 30 years. So what we ensure is that if a person does invest, or, if they qualify for our program, we ensure that the repayment of the loan would not be greater than what they would have paid on the electric bill initially. So not only will they save on their electric costs, but they would be somewhat investing in themselves as opposed to giving their money to PG&E every month, because solar panels will raise the value of their home.
That's tremendous. So really I saw the requirements in terms of the low income thresholds you have to have, and it seemed like it was dependent on family size. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so as long as you meet those, and even if you're outside of the zip codes you stated, for instance, for San Francisco, somebody could contact Grid Alternatives and get this thing done.
No.
Oh, okay.
The conflict there is that in San Francisco, we only have funding to do specific zip codes. In San Mateo County, we only can do certain areas. I believe they're the incorporated areas of San Mateo County.
Okay.
Pleasanton, we only have funding for the city of Pleasanton because they support us in that effort. Okay. Wherever we get our funding from, that is basically where we're able to serve at this time. But we've only been in existence for 4 years. We just doubled our staff, so we have 8 people at the beginning of this year. And we hope to continually grow. So we expect to double our installations this year as opposed to last year. And if we continue to grow at that rate, we'll be servicing everyone, hopefully.
I like it. Well, final question for you. What really matters?
First of all, our world, and to make sure that we can leave a world for our children and our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. Secondly, the people we serve. We're trying to serve the people who need the savings the most. And thirdly, the people who volunteer with us, who give of their time and their money or whatever way they support Grid Alternatives, to give back to both of those, to our world and the people we serve. I think those are the things that matter the most.
Check them out, folks, at gridalternatives.org. Thanks much for being on the show.
Okay.